Okay, here we have our lateral area and surface area worksheet that I want you to do. There's several directions. State the name of the figure, write the formula you're going to use, fill in the values, find the lateral area and surface area. Round answers to the nearest hundredth. All right, then it talks about number 11. So let's go ahead and look at number 1. Well, first of all, this is a triangular pyramid. A triangular pyramid. All right, so it is a pyramid. So our lateral area for pyramid is the perimeter of the base, actually 1/2 perimeter of the base times the height, the slant height, which we used L for, and I'm running out of room there, so that's slant height. All right, well, we have 1/2 the perimeter of the base. Well, the perimeter of our base is right here. So that is 9 times 3, so I'm just going to go lateral area with an L here. 1/2 the perimeter is 9 plus 9 plus 9, or 9 times 3, which is 27. And times the slant height. The slant height, I'm going to put this in red, the slant height is this dashed line right here. So that's our slant height. That's 6.5. All right, working that out, we get our lateral area equals 1/2 27 times 6.5. If you figure that out, that ends up equaling 87.75. So just typing that in a calculator, 87.75, and this is inches squared. Now our surface area, which we'll use S for, is simply our lateral area plus the area of the base. Well, I'm going to try to color coordinate this so we're working through this. So surface area equals lateral area plus the area of the base. So our lateral area, we just found that. That is 87.75. And then the area of the base, well, the base here is this bottom part here. It's this equilateral triangle. So that's the area of the base. The base in this case is a triangle. And so how do you find the area of a triangle? Well, that's 1/2 the base times the height. When we talk about this base and this height, we're speaking of the base and height of the triangle. So if we were to look at this triangle I just colored in, it would look like this. They're each 9 inches. And then it has a height here, and this height says is 7.8 inches. So we can now easily find this area because we have the base and the height. So 1/2 the base, which is 9, times the height, which is 7.8. So typing that into a calculator, 1/2 times 9 times 7.8 equals 35.1. And that's in inches squared again, and that is the area of our base. So that goes here. And then we get our answer, our surface area. You add those up, 87.75 plus the 35.1, and you get 122.85 inches squared. And it does say in the directions to round to the nearest hundredth. So that's how you do that. There's our different parts. We wrote the name of the figure. Here's the formula for lateral area. Here's the formula for surface area. So it said write the formulas. We filled in and solved. So lateral area and surface area. Let's look at number 2. Number 2. The reason number 2 might be a little confusing is because the way it's oriented there, it's not resting on its base, it's just sitting there. So we have to remember our definitions. This one here is a triangular prism. A prism has 2 parallel bases. I'm going to try to trace them here. Here's parallel bases that are congruent. So sometimes some people have trouble visualizing these couple of things. So there's the 2 triangles. I'm actually going to erase that because I don't want it to be too messy, but it is a triangular prism. So last one was a triangular pyramid. And this is a triangular prism. Well, since it is a prism, our second thing, we want to do our lateral area. Lateral area is the perimeter of the base. So we do P, perimeter of the base, times its height. So the base is a triangle. And so we see here, this would be 6 yards because this is 6 yards. So 6 plus 10 plus 8. 6 plus 10 plus 8 is the perimeter. This is where sometimes it gets tricky. The height of a pyramid, of a right prism is always perpendicular to the base. And so this length here, let's make this red. We're going to try to find the height. If it was resting on its base, you notice here that this would be the height. So if it were resting on the triangle, that would be the height. So the height is 3 yards. And so now we can find the lateral area. 6 plus 10 plus 8 is 24 times 3. And so our lateral area is 24 times 3, which is 72 yards squared. And then for our surface area is simply the lateral area. And then in this case, we have 2 bases. A pyramid, we have 1 base. Prism, we have 2 bases. Well, we already have our lateral area that was 72 yards squared, and then 2 times the area of the base. Well, in this case, what is the base? The base is a triangle. Again, it's not always going to be a triangle, but it's a triangle, which is 1/2. The triangle's base times the triangle's height. Do not get this confused with the pyramid or the prism's base and the prism's height. So the triangle, if we were to draw it out here, it's actually a right triangle, and it's 6. This isn't drawn very well to scale. 6, 8, and 10. So we notice here that our base could be 6, and our height is 8. And so 1/2 times 6 times 8 is 24. And that's yards squared. Now that is simply the B, so it's 2 times B. We found one of the bases, 24 yards squared. And so now we can finish up here. S equals 72. 2 times 24 is 48. Add those together, and you get 120 yards squared. So again, follow those different steps. Write down the type of shape. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a hexagonal. And this is a hexagonal pyramid. So it's a pyramid. So we know lateral area is 1/2 the perimeter times the slant height. Make sure you know what these different variables mean. Capital P is perimeter of the base. Cursive L is slant height. Let's put that in purple. So we have our lateral area equals 1/2. Well, the perimeter, each of these lengths is 7. So the perimeter is just going to be 7 times 6 since there's 6 sides. And then the slant height we see over here, this is 12.6. And then all we're going to do is multiply that out to find the lateral area. 1/2 times 7.6. Sorry, 7 times 6. Sorry, this is our perimeter. That's 42. So 1/2 times 7 times 6 times 12.6. So the lateral area, let's move this down. Lateral area will equal 264.6 inches squared. And then we want to find our surface area. Surface area for a pyramid is simply the lateral area plus the area of the base. One of these days I'll do this right the first time. So lateral area, we found that, 264.6 plus one base. It's one base because there is only one base to a pyramid. Well, this time the base is a regular polygon. It's a regular hexagon. And we know area of a regular hexagon is 1/2 perimeter of the base times the apothem. So we need to find that, 1/2. The perimeter, we have 6 of these 7-inch pieces, so we found the perimeter up here also. That was the perimeter, so that's 42. And here we're given the apothem, which is 6.1. The apothem is a segment from the center to the midpoint of one of the sides, or perpendicular to one of the sides. Turns out to be both those things. And so we do 1/2 times 42 times the apothem, which is 6.1, and we get 128.1. And we add those together to get the total surface area. So we get 392.7 inches squared. Realize on number 4, the diameter is 12 yards, so the radius is 6 yards. This is a cone. So that's number 1, it's a cone. Number 2, we need to write the formula. So the lateral area for a cone is 1/2 the perimeter, or the circumference. So let's use a C for circumference, or perimeter, times its slant height. And so lateral area equals 1/2 circumference. Circumference is 2 pi r, which in this case r is 6. So 2 pi times 6, that's multiplied out, is 37.7. Actually 37.70. That's the circumference. The slant height is 13.4. So we can put in 37.70 for our circumference. For our slant height, it's 13.4. And so lateral area equals all these multiplied together, which gives us 252.59 yards squared. And then surface area. Surface area is the lateral area plus the area of the base, which in this case it's a circle. So surface area equals, lateral area was 252.59. The base is a circle in this case. So the area of a circle is pi r squared. The radius is 6. So pi times 6 squared. Some people make a mistake of typing this in incorrectly. They do pi times 6 and then square that answer. So make sure you do 6 squared, which is 36. So maybe I'll just write it out, times pi. And then you can multiply that. So 36 pi is 113.1. And that's the base, so that can go back in our formula. 113.1. Add those together. You get 365.69 yards squared. So use that same idea to go ahead and finish up the rest of the worksheet.